Last summer, I paid $214 to cool a one-bedroom apartment, while a $15 fix was sitting 3 blocks away at the hardware store. By 3 p.m., my south-facing living room felt like a parked car in Phoenix. The AC never stopped. It just fought, day and night. The bill showed up, I blinked twice and paid it, then I ran the numbers. If I could cut even 15% off that bill, that's real money over a 4-month summer. So I started digging, not TikTok hacks, actual research, Department of Energy, national labs, university studies. And what I found honestly surprised me. The fix wasn't a new window, not a tax credit upgrade, not a $300 interior storm panel. It was air, specifically trapped air. Here's the simple truth nobody explains clearly. Heat moves fast through glass. Glass is terrible at insulating. But still air is lazy. It resists heat transfer. That's why double pane windows work. It's not magic gas. It's not the logo. It's the air gap. In 2013, Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory ran over 16,000 simulations on window performance across U.S. climate zones. Their conclusion was straightforward. Adding a secondary layer to windows, storm panels, shades, attachments, reduces heating and cooling energy use, across the board, cooling climates included. Translation? Add a layer. Save energy. So I thought, okay, what's the cheapest way to add a layer? That's when I found something buried in an old gardening forum. A guy in Manitoba pressed large bubble packing material directly onto his greenhouse panels using nothing but water. No tape, no glue. The air pockets stick to wet glass through surface tension. The view blurs, the light stays, the heat slows down. I tested it on one window, clean the glass, spray water, press the bubble side against the pane, trim the edges. 4 minutes. That room didn't feel like a greenhouse anymore. Now let's be clear, this is not a replacement for high-performance windows. A certified low-E storm panel will outperform packing material. That's documented. The Department of Energy reports low-E storm windows can reduce heating and cooling loads by 12 to 33% depending on climate. But here's the part that matters. The principle is the same. Both systems create trapped air between your conditioned space and the outside world. Meanwhile, a 2023 analysis from the American Council for an Energy-Efficient Economy found low-income households spend roughly 3 times more of their income on energy than higher-income households. And here's where it gets interesting for renters. According to U.S. Census data, about 36% of Americans rent, and renters typically can't replace windows. They can't claim federal energy efficiency tax credits, and they often pay their own electric bills in buildings with older single-pane glass. Meanwhile, a 2023 analysis from the American Council for an Energy-Efficient Economy found low-income households spend roughly 3 times more of their income on energy than higher-income households. Why? Older housing, worse envelopes, inefficient windows. The physics is simple, the economics are not. Federal tax credits reward certified window replacements. That makes sense. Those products are tested and rated. But low-cost temporary layers, they don't live inside that system. They're not certified products, they're just physics. And physics doesn't need a logo. Before plastic existed, builders in Japan used shoji screens, translucent paper panels over wood frames. In Scandinavia, double window systems were common for centuries. 2 layers, air gap, less heat loss, different materials, same idea. Even modern greenhouse operators use air layers to cut heating costs. Recent agricultural extension studies in cold climates show secondary air barriers significantly reduce fuel use. So why don't we talk about simple add-on layers more often? Honestly, because they're boring. They don't photograph well. They're not premium upgrades. But they work. And again, I'm not saying ignore building codes. Any window covering must allow safe emergency exit. Safety first, always. When I tracked my usage over the next 2 billing cycles, same thermostat settings, similar outside temps, my electricity use dropped just under 14% compared to the previous month. Not life-changing, not dramatic, but real. And that's what this is about. Not magic, not conspiracy, just overlooked fundamentals. Heat moves 3 ways. Conduction, convection, radiation. Add trapped air, you slow conduction. Break up air movement, you reduce convection. Diffuse incoming sunlight, you limit solar gain. You're not stopping heat, you're slowing it down. And slowing it down means your AC doesn't have to sprint all day. In a country where the HVAC market is worth tens of billions annually, we tend to think equipment first, bigger unit, higher SEER rating, smarter thermostat. But envelope first? That's quieter, less flashy, harder to market. Add a layer, that's it. It could be a proper interior storm panel, it could be insulated cellular shades, it could be removable seasonal glazing. Those are all documented solutions backed by testing. If you own your home, you have more options. If you rent, you have fewer, and you have to respect your lease terms. Always check them. But understanding the principle changes how you look at your space. That window isn't just glass, it's a thermal opening. And every layer between you and the outside world shifts the math in your favor. This summer, I didn't replace a single window. I didn't install a new AC. I didn't claim a tax credit. I added air, and my bill went down. Sometimes the highest tech solution isn't more technology. Sometimes it's remembering what builders knew before compressors, before refrigerant, before we measured comfort in tons. Add a layer. Slow the heat. Let physics work for you instead of against you. And if you stick around, next time we're going underground, literally, to a cooling method that stays around 55 degrees year-round without using a single watt of electricity. Because before we powered comfort, we designed for it.